The Warrior Dividend. I heard it last night from the President of the United States, and I'm like, I'm all about, as I know many of you are, supporting the men and women who serve. And the President announced last night that men and women who are serving this country will get a Christmas bonus of $1,776, and it will not be taxed. That's a big deal. The announcement came down during this 18-minute speech last night, and I was a fan, but I will say there was one big question and concern that I had.
Because of tariffs, along with the just passed One Big Beautiful Bill, tonight I am also proud to announce that more than 1,450,000, think of this, 1,450,000 military service members will receive a special, we call Warrior Dividend before Christmas, a Warrior Dividend. In honor of our nation's founding in 1776, we are sending every soldier $1,776. Think of that. And the checks are already on the way. Nobody understood that one until about 30 minutes ago. We made a lot more money than anybody thought because of tariffs, and the bill helped us along. Nobody deserves it more than our military, and I say congratulations to everybody. And by the way, we now have record enlistment in our military, and last year we had among the worst recruitment numbers in our military's history. What a difference a year makes.
So that was the President of the United States last night. So I'm like, all right, great. So my initial emotional reaction is awesome. Good for them. Serving the country, families need it, Christmas time, checks are on the way. That's fantastic. But then I'm thinking to myself, how's this work? Where's the money come from? Did Congress sign off on this? And the reason I'm asking that is not because I don't want the men and women and their families who serve and sacrifice for the country to not get the check. But I'm like, okay, are we setting some kind of precedent here where a President Gavin Newsom comes in and he goes, all my Somalian friends are getting $2,000. Great patriots. Oh, we love them. In some primetime address. You're the best, especially you in Minneapolis who are ripping off the taxpayer. That doesn't sound too good, does it? We'd be going nuts here. So I asked Mark Alford about it this morning. He was on the show to react to the speech last night, and he's like, I don't know. I was like, okay. He's like, got to check on that one. It's like, well, that didn't give me a lot of confidence, to be honest, John.
I was with you there. You were saying he guess that's first you've heard of it. I thought, there's Trump being a CEO making an announcement at the meeting, and everybody else jumps, react.
Yeah, exactly. Or it's like, you check the credit card statement, and you're like, who bought what in this house? Kind of what it felt like. So I did hear from Congressman Alford, though, and we have an update for you on this. Here's where the money's coming from. Senior administration official told Defense One in an email late last night that Secretary of War Pete Hegseth directed the Pentagon to disperse $2.6 billion as a one-time basic allowance for housing supplement to all eligible service members. So basically, Congress appropriated $2.9 billion to the Department of War to supplement the basic allowance for housing entitlement within the One Big Beautiful Bill. Approximately 1.28 million active military members and 174,000 reserve military members will receive this supplement. Goes on the note here, top congressional leaders have repeatedly pushed Pentagon officials during confirmation hearings to commit to following lawmakers' guidance for more than $150 billion allocated for defense in the One Big Beautiful Reconciliation legislation. The $2.9 billion meant to subsidize the basic allowance for housing, rent, mortgage, utilities, things like that, comes as some service members have struggled to make the most of the benefit. So they're using money out of that pot, I guess, that is supposed to be for rent and mortgages for men and women who serve, to in part send this check out. Trump has rebranded what is already congressionally approved troop housing subsidies as the Warrior dividend bonus. So I guess instead of it having to be used for housing, it's just going to be a check that can be used for anything, if I'm reading this correctly. So Mark Alford sent that to me this morning, and he said he wanted to make sure that we got it to this audience. So there you go. That's where the money's coming from. It's basically being rebranded in some sense, but I guess it also can be used for anything now, right? If you're just getting the check versus saying, hey, this is for housing, rents, mortgages, whatever, I guess that's allowed. I don't know.
And to your point, though, this was focused on the military, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The money was just for the military. It was supposed to be for rent and mortgages, but now it's just a check. So I don't know. At least it's an answer.
Don't blow it all in one place.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right. Now, we got the inflation number this morning. Take a listen to this. Mark, let's get that clip that I put in there from CNBC, if we could. The inflation number was expected to come in at 3.1%. The morning after the president basically gives his economic pitch to the American people, he gets an outstanding inflation number. And here was the reaction and what it sounded like. And this audio comes courtesy of CNBC. Here we go.
The number of the morning, the CPI, maybe coming in a little bit better than expected. 2.7%, a little light here. I'm just reading the headlines here. Year over year, 2.7. Ex-food and energy core, 2.6. So 0.4 off. That is a very good number here. And it really, I have not looked at the internals. I'll look at them now, but it suggests that the internals are good as well. Let's see, year over year, over the last 12 months. There is no month to month, but some guys will be able to calculate. Seasonally adjusted index for all items less food and energy rose 0.2% over the 2 months. So correct my math here, Michael Santoli, but 0.2 divided by 2 is 0.1.
Yeah.
So therefore, that's a very, very low monthly rate here. The index for shelter increase, so you did get a really nice decline in shelter, which was 0.2. And so that was 0.1 per month.
All right, I don't want to rain on anybody's parade here. That's a good number, okay? It's a good number, no doubt about it. But here's why January is going to matter more. Inflation was running 3% since April. Then we have the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. Unfortunately, the government is still too big of a part of the economy. The Trump administration is doing a great job on this. We're down 300,000 federal workers in the last 14 months. We are at the lowest number of federal workers in 10 years. That's great news. Government's getting too big. Tell people to go get a job in the real world. I'm sorry. Go work in the private sector, okay? Shed government jobs, keep doing it. That's a big win. But we had a big government shutdown. The government is still too large a part of the economy. And after running at about 3% inflation since April, we paused for a shutdown, and then boom, we hit our lowest levels since 21. I'm not saying this isn't good news, but I want to give you a perspective here that just says, hey, let's make sure we get to next month, see what January looks like before we sit here and declare victory. That's it. That's all I'm suggesting. December and January numbers are going to be very informative. And they'll give us a better idea as to whether or not this is a trend that is going to continue or if this was a blip on the radar. That's what it's going to tell us. 913-408-7957. The other thing to note here, and I'm going to share this on X at Pete Mundo. This is from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Earnings growth has outpaced inflation the entire year. The average American weekly paycheck now buys 1.6% more than it did in January. This after it fell 4% under the prior president. It's early. There's work to do, but there are trends, and I just shared it from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. You can see it for yourself on social media. There are trends that suggest, once again, 26, we can really get this thing rocking and rolling. And boy, would that be a welcome sight.